multi-year deal. She is the first female athlete to have her own collection with Wilson. And it will be built similar to Jordan's collection.
And a multi-year sponsorship deal with Wilson, maker of the WNBA's official basketball.
Yeah, so here's what it is. The signature ball will be gold and white.
You know how Michael Jordan changed the game of basketball? Well, Caitlin Clark is doing the same thing right now. We're going to break down her insane stats, show you how she's shattering records left and right, and explain why this could be the start of a whole new era for women's basketball. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now back to the video. Let's talk about Caitlin Clark's journey. This girl went from shooting hoops in her driveway to setting the WNBA on fire as a rookie. It's like she stepped onto the court and said, "I'm here to make history." And you know what? She's doing it. But here's the real question. Could Caitlin Clark be the next Michael Jordan? Or maybe, and I know this sounds crazy, even better? I mean, she's breaking records that even MJ couldn't touch in his rookie year. That's insane. This isn't just about one player, though. Caitlin Clark is changing the game for women's basketball forever. More fans, more attention, more respect. It's a whole new ball game, and Clark is leading the charge. Are you ready for this revolution? This revolution isn't just about changing the game, it's about shattering records. Remember when rookies were supposed to take time to adjust? Clark didn't get that memo. She's not just breaking records, she's obliterating them in ways that make even Michael Jordan's rookie season look ordinary. How is that even possible? Let's talk numbers, because Caitlin Clark's stats are absolutely insane. We're looking at 17.9 points, 8.3 assists, and 5.7 rebounds per game. For a rookie, that's not just good, it's otherworldly. But you know what's even crazier? Clark became the first player in WNBA history to rack up 500 points and 200 assists in a single season. That's the kind of achievement that makes you sit up and take notice. Now, I know what you're thinking. Sure, she's good, but better than Jordan? Well, let me blow your mind. Clark just pulled off something that not even his airness could manage in his rookie year. She dropped 29 points, 13 assists, 5 rebounds, 5 three-pointers, 5 steals, and 3 blocks in a single game. That's a stat line that looks like it came straight out of a video game, not real life. But wait, there's more. Through just 29 games, Clark has already notched up 11 games with 20 or more points, 5 or more rebounds, and 5 or more assists. That puts her within striking distance of the WNBA record of 12 such games set by Breanna Stewart. And remember, we're talking about a rookie here. You want efficiency? Clark's got that too. She's already recorded 2 games with at least 29 points, 10 assists, and 5 rebounds, while shooting with a true shooting percentage above 70%. That level of efficiency? It was only matched twice by Michael Jordan and Steph Curry in their rookie seasons. Twice. Clark's done it twice already. But here's the thing. It's not just about the numbers. It's about how Clark is redefining what's possible on a basketball court. Her all-around game is so versatile, so complete, that she's practically impossible to game plan against. She can score from anywhere. She can pass like a point guard. She can rebound like a forward, and she can defend like a specialist. It's like watching LeBron James and Steph Curry rolled into one, but with a fresh, exciting twist that's all Clark. She's not just playing basketball, she's evolving it. Every time she steps on the court, she's pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible in the sport. Clark's not just pushing boundaries on the court, she's shattering glass ceilings off it. Imagine a world where women's basketball is as mainstream as the NBA. Sound impossible? Clark might be making it a reality sooner than you think. Let's talk about the Clark effect and how it's changing the game off the court. You know how big-time players can draw crowds? Well, Clark is taking that to a whole new level. We're talking record-breaking viewership numbers here. Her debut game, it pulled in an average of 2.1 million viewers. That's the highest for a WNBA game in over 20 years. It's like everyone suddenly realized, hey, women's basketball is awesome. But it's not just about TV ratings. The Indiana Fever, Clark's team is experiencing a ticket sales explosion. We're talking a 250% increase. Can you imagine? It's like Clark showed up and suddenly everyone wants a seat at the game. And jerseys? Don't even get me started. Sales are up by over 1,000%. That's not a typo. 1,000%. Here's something really cool. Clark's games are now being shown in sports bars across the country. Think about that for a second. How often do you see women's sports on the big screen at your local bar? This is huge. It's like Clark is single-handedly pushing women's basketball into the mainstream. But it's not just about the numbers. Clark is changing perceptions and opening doors for future generations of female athletes. She's showing young girls that they can dream big, that they can be the star of the show. And she's showing everyone else that women's sports are just as exciting, just as worthy of attention as men's. You know what's really exciting? This might just be the beginning. If Clark can have this kind of impact as a rookie, imagine what could happen as her career progresses. We could be looking at a whole new era for women's sports, where female athletes get the recognition, respect, and opportunities they deserve. Hold up. Remember how we said this might be just the beginning? Well, Clark's latest move is making waves in both the WNBA and NBA. What if I told you she's not just following in the footsteps of legends, but blazing a trail all her own? Let's talk about Caitlin Clark's deal with Wilson Sporting Goods.
Inked a multi-year sponsorship deal with Wilson, maker of the WNBA's official basketball.
Yeah, so here's what it is. The signature ball will be gold and white.
Caitlin Clark just did something no one has done since Michael Jordan. That's good company. Wilson Sporting Goods signed the WNBA star.
This isn't just any sponsorship. Clark is the first female athlete to have her own basketball collection. Sound familiar? It should, because that's exactly what Michael Jordan did with Nike. This isn't just a big deal for Clark, it's a game changer for women's sports. Imagine walking into a store and seeing Caitlin Clark basketballs right next to the Air Jordans. That's going to be reality in 2024 when her signature line launches. But here's the kicker. Clark isn't just slapping her name on some balls. She's in there, testing products, giving advice, and even directing the creative process. That's next-level involvement.
Personalized engravings of the Indiana Fever star. Look at that. That's pretty cool. So Clark will also test, advise, and give feedback.
You know what's really cool about this? Clark gets it. She knows this is bigger than just her. She said, "It feels surreal to have my own basketball collection, and to affect what that means for future generations of athletes." That's the kind of thinking that changes the game. But wait. There's more. Clark isn't just changing things for women's basketball. She's bridging the gap between men's and women's sports. NBA stars are sitting up and taking notice. They're not just watching, they're praising her publicly. That's huge. It's like Clark is single-handedly dragging women's basketball into the spotlight. Think about what this could mean for the future. We're talking increased investment in women's sports, better opportunities for female athletes, a whole new level of respect for women's basketball. Clark isn't just playing the game, she's reshaping how we think about sports. And get this, Clark's doing all this in the age of social media. That means her influence is going even further than Jordan's did. She's not just a basketball player, she's a brand, an influencer, a role model. She's changing perceptions with every post, every game, every interview. The numbers don't lie. WNBA franchise values are going up. Viewership is climbing. People aren't just watching Clark play, they're watching women's basketball because of her. That's the kind of impact that lasts long after the final buzzer. Alright, let's wrap this up. Caitlin Clark isn't just breaking records, she's rewriting the entire playbook of basketball. From her insane stats to her game-changing Wilson deal, she's pushing women's basketball into the spotlight like never before.
Because the only other athlete to be a brand ambassador for Wilson was Michael Jordan back in the 1980s.
Multi-year deal. She is the first female athlete to have her own collection with Wilson. And it will be built similar to Jordan's collection. And
think about it. Sports bars showing women's games? That's unheard of. But Clark's making it happen. Her dad said it best. This is what it should be like for every sports event. Women's basketball is awesome. And you know what? He's right. We're not just watching a great player. We're watching history unfold. Clark's changing how we see women's sports, opening doors for future generations. So here's the deal. Don't just sit back and watch. Get involved, support women's basketball, celebrate these incredible athletes. Because with Clark leading the charge, the future of basketball is looking brighter than ever.